Hey, Crystal, talk to us. What's one piece of advice you can give us this Monday morning?
Hey there, Michael. I'd like to talk about demographics reports and actually the analysis of driving and having the area or the location you pick pass the feel and the sight test more so than just the numbers test.
Talk to me a little bit about that, like driving around and just looking, or
Yeah, so it's a little bit more intuitive than that. We have our demographics reports. We might be looking at them. We're looking for that 3,000 to 1 dentist to population ratio, the high income area. But then we have to look at how does it feel? Does it pass the windshield test when I drive by? Behind the numbers, what does it feel like? So that's what I like to do.
what's the windshield test?
Yeah, so just behind the steering wheel, you're looking out the windshield and you're looking around and you're like, oh, cool, there's a lot of homes being built. Or, oh, wow, the demographics report said this was only like 1,800 to 1, but I'm not really seeing the dentists. Where are they at? So does it pass the eye test, so to speak, would be maybe another way to say that.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that. So then, if you can, let's just say we're listening to this and we decided to do that. We're taking a drive. Strategically, how should we start? What are we mainly looking for that are red flags? And what are some things that we can probably let pass?
Sure. So one thing that's well known if you've researched anything on demographics with a startup are natural barriers like a highway that maybe people wouldn't want to cross. Or by us, there's the foothills in Colorado. So there's no real homes along the foothills. So now I've just eliminated growth to the west of me completely, right? So if I'm butted up too close to there and a couple more dentists come in and there's not a lot of room for new homes, I could be in trouble long term, and I'm praying for turnover of the existing home, so to speak. The other thing would be how much commercial real estate is in the area. Is there more commercial than residential? We want a nice balance of both. And a lot of times in these newer areas that are up and coming, the residential's there before the commercial's developed. So a lot of these projects are ground up commercial that we see a lot of startups going into. They're waiting for the developers to finish to give them that gray shell.
How do we know that's a good balance then? The commercial and then the residential.
At some point, you got to go with your gut and say, this is the location, right? You've worked with plenty of startups over the years. I'd turn the question back on you. What's your opinion on some of that?
Oh man. So when we focus just on ground marketing, right? So if it's commercial, we do want a lot of commercial. If it's residential, you have the HOAs, you have a lot of other specific things that you can be a part of. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on the type of practice you want to be, right? In the city, a specific suburban area.
Yeah, that's a great point. Are we talking a city, an urban type atmosphere, rural or suburban? For me, I would say 80% of people are going to go to a larger suburb close to a major city. Let's say within 20 minutes to an hour outside a major city, Denver, Chicago, San Francisco, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. You're investing so much money into this, right? Your startup. Why wouldn't not everyone just want to do this?
And you said, hey, bring something that's unpopular. It's a little ambiguous, right? What I'm saying. It's not quite a science. It's a little bit of driving around, analyze the competition. Maybe your real estate agent didn't show you a place that was available that has great visibility, that meets the demographics and everything, but it just isn't on their radar. And you have to say, hey, such and such real estate agent, would you mind looking into this place? It looks like it's vacant, looks like it could be a good opportunity. I've seen situations like that work out really well for startup clients.
Okay. So when you talk to them, real estate agent, is there a way you would want to bring that up to let them know, like, hey, you missed a lot of stuff, or no?
Some of them might be directing you where they know they're going to get a nice commission on it, but other times it's just not on the market, right? Maybe the landlord hasn't listed it. Maybe it just doesn't show up on their searches on, CoStar or whatever. Or maybe they didn't realize it was in a good demographic zone based on your demographics reports. So it's a team approach. Remember, no one is more invested in this than you, the startup doc. So they're dealing with maybe 20 clients at a time or something like that. You have your one little baby. You got to do everything possible to make sure it's a home run.
Nice. I like that. So, Chris, you also have a book that you just came out with, right?
Correct. So the book's called The Eminently Qualified Dentist. I was listening to the Jocko Willink podcast, and he talked about the eminently qualified Marine. And I printed out this sheet, and it's about Marines and like the levels of leadership and what would signify that you're good at your job as a Marine. And I was like, wow, what if there was a scorecard that we could more objectively evaluate ourselves as dental practice leaders? So myself and Dr. Tom Reed compiled the scorecard with 10 or 12 categories of the practice culture, marketing, leadership, so on and so forth, and then some descriptions and ranking yourself from 0 to 5. And at the end, you could fill out the scorecard. Let's say you did that today, and maybe you've been working on some things. You check in 6 months from now, take the test again, and you see, hey, looks like I'm doing a little bit better as a leader. It looks like I am growing and the trajectory's in the right direction. So that was the idea behind the book. And it's quick read, more of an evaluation, something that you might take on a flight, fill it out, read it, and then reevaluate yourself.
So if you can, one of the main things on there that you do, would you recommend, hey, we should probably reevaluate ourselves how often?
Maybe quarterly. There used to be a scorecard that I would use and evaluate quarterly. Definitely annually when you're doing your maybe annual goal setting and things like that. But for maybe a book like this, twice a year.
If you can let us know right now, where do you feel like, okay, I need to improve on this?
Sure. I would say if 100% means you've got it all dialed in, I would say we're probably lying to ourselves. I would say where I could improve a little bit more is with hard conversations. So you could always get better at having those hard conversations and not putting hard conversations off. I would say that would be an area for me to focus on.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. So it does dive deep into the, not just like, what's your production looking like? Right. What do you want it to be? But it goes into the granular of hard conversations, which honestly, Chris, like, I feel like that's hard for anybody. You know what I mean? Like that's a difficult, nobody loves to be like, I love coming in and having difficult conversations. Maybe like 0.01% people, but that's good, man. Okay. So then this is available where?
This would be available on Amazon. It's called The Eminently Qualified Dentist. I think it's $19 or $20. I've sent out a lot of free copies as well. So just hit us up if you want a copy. I've got some good feedback so far for the people that have actually gone through it. It's a reality check, right? When we go introspective and evaluate how we're showing up to the world. We're always a work in progress is how I look at myself. So there's always room for improvement. And it's like when one category starts to do well, maybe another one suffers and it teeter-totters. So it's hard to find that balance and everything.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. We go through seasons all the time. But awesome, Chris. I appreciate your time. And if anyone has further questions, you can definitely find them on the Dental Marketer Society Facebook group, or where can they reach out to you directly?
Sure. I'll just give my personal email, cmgreendmd@gmail.com. You can also find me at thepracticelaunchpad.com, which is our startup coaching group.
Nice. Awesome. So that's going to be in the show notes below. And Chris, thank you for being with me on this Monday morning episode.
Hey, I really appreciate you having me, Michael. Thank you.